Hey folks, Charles Sim here. I want to talk to you a little bit today about my favorite technique, which is jerkbait fishing. I throw jerkbait from early in the spring to late in the fall year round, and I catch fish all over the place doing it. I actually refer to the whole combination, the whole rig, as a system because each element relies on each other. As you can see, I throw it on a spinning rod, and the reason for this is sometimes I work my jerkbait really aggressively, and it's a lot easier on my hand and my wrist. Kind of the base, the core of this whole setup is the braided line. I use Power Pro. This year I'm using Power Pro Super Slick. It's new this year. 20-pound test. The Super Slick goes through the guides really well, and I get monster long casts. The reel, I throw it on a Stratic. I've always used the Stratic. With the Stratic you get a very good quality drag system, and this year's new Stratic, the FJ, has the X-ship component in it, which beefs up the durability and it just makes a smoother reel, more equipped to handle the technique for me. I throw it on a 7-foot medium action rod, and over the years I've changed from medium light to medium heavy to medium, and what I really want is a soft tip, because when the fish hit this jerkbait there's not much give in the braided line, and this soft tip will absorb that hard strike. So we got the soft tip, the braided line for the action. The final component of the whole piece is about 4 feet of fluorocarbon. I use the fluorocarbon for 3 reasons. 1, it reduces the visibility from braid to fluoro. 2, it provides just a little bit of stretch to absorb some of those hard hits when smallmouth and largemouth hammer that jerkbait. And the third one, which I kind of stumbled onto, is I could actually make my bait go deeper or shallower depending how long my fluorocarbon jerkbait is. And I discovered this in a tournament where I was catching fish constantly, and I had to retie, and I ended up putting on a shorter lead, and my bait wasn't getting as deep and I wasn't catching fish. Once I rectified that and started catching fish, it was all good. So, just to review, braided line, Power Pro Super Slick for monster long casts and instant reaction. When you twitch the bait moves. High quality reel, Stratic FJ, smooth drag, X-ship component to handle the force of those jerks. And of course the spinning rod. This is, like I said, this is a 7-foot Camara, 7.2 Camara, medium action, extra fast tip. Now there's hundreds of shapes and sizes and brands of jerkbaits on the market, and I'll just show you the 3 that I use most of the time. Take a look here, and what we have here is the Spro McSticks and Spro McRip. Now this one up here is the Spro McStick. It's a 110 size, and I use this probably 90% of the time. It runs down 3 to 5 feet, and most importantly, it's got 3 hooks on it. So this is 90% of the time, that's my preferred bait. If I feel the fish are keying in on a smaller bait fish, or I want something a little more finesse, I'll go down to the McStick 95, which smaller bait, 2 hooks, still runs in that 3 to 5 foot zone. So depending on how you feel, time of year, and what the fish are doing, those are the 2 kind of 3 to 5 foot zone baits I look at. If I'm fishing really deep, I'll use the McRip 85. It's a smaller bait with a bigger lip. Now that'll dive 8 to 10 feet. So if I'm looking for fish in 12, 14, 15 feet of water, that's the bait I'll look at. Not to say they won't come up and hit the other bait in 14 feet of water, they will. But like I said, the 110 size in a very natural color is my go-to 90% of the time. We're going to set up here and show you some of my jerkbait cadences, and hopefully get into a fish. So as I mentioned, I fished my jerkbait year-round, early in the year to late in the fall, and I really let the water temperature dictate how I work the bait. In the summertime, I often work my bait very aggressively. I don't want that fish to have time to look at it, so it's something like this, just constant, fast movement. And this is specifically for smallmouth. This time of the year, it's very early in the year. The water temperature is running 51 degrees. I like to go a little slower. Maybe pause that bait a little bit. Let it suspend right in front of the fish's face. A couple weeks ago we were fishing, the water temperature was 42 degrees. And we had to leave that bait sit for up to 10 or 15 seconds before those smallmouth would come up and grab it. I don't got to do that quite so slow this time of year. The fish are slightly aggressive. We're fishing for pre-spawn smallmouth and largemouth here. And they'll come hit a bait pretty good, but still I'm not doing that crazy fast summertime aggressive technique. Just a jerk, 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 pause. Like that. And it's really up to you how you work your jerkbait. Figure out what the fish want on that particular day. Just had a follow right there. Little jerk, sometimes you can entice him to come back. That was about a 2-pound smallmouth. He turned around. I like to keep my rod down. I'm in about 5-6 feet of water. If I was fishing shallower, up in 2-3 feet of water, which I do often, I'd be jerking that bait up like this. About 5-6 feet. I want that bait down in that 3 to 4 foot zone, so it's about here. There we go. He's a little guy, but he's a nice one. Jerkbait fish. Pre-spawn, post-spawn, summer, fall.